not a single day that passes without you on my mind. Not even 1 minute can end up before.
Hello, Simply Passionate Live. It's Precious KW here. I am so excited to sit in front of you once again. We are so happy to have you. If you are new, thanks for coming. It means the world to us to have someone new with us. If you've been here for a while, you've been sticking with us, thank you. We appreciate you. And I am just grateful to get to know you, grateful to get to share with you and share my heart with you each and every week. We have had some amazing experiences. We were able to go rip and run across the city with our Passion into Action series. So go back and watch those videos. They were impactful. You guys got to see a little bit about me and who I am and what makes me tick. So let's get started. I've been hitting y'all with some long videos. So today is going to be nice, easy peasy, pumpkin squeezy. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and give me some comments below throughout the video. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about one huge snag that generally gets in the way of passionate living. We talked about the difference between snags and spurs a little while back, so go back. You can go into the link right here and it'll give you some ways you can go back and recap on what a snag is. But basically there are things that stop us in our tracks to living a simply passionate life. And one huge thing is the F word. You know I like F's, I don't know why. But one F word that can really stop you in your tracks and snag your progress, and that is fear. Fear, fear, fear. Oh, dreaded fear. Sin, I tell you, what it does to us. But fear is something that is such a intangible. It's something that you can't pick up, similar to faith, but can impact your day from the start to the finish. It can impact your life from the beginning to the end. Fear is something that is intangible, but often lies from a deep, real place within us. And so there are 3 fears we're going to talk about today, and each of these may have their own episode in the future, but we're going to just talk about basic fear and how to conquer your fear and not let fear take over your life. So the first fear we're going to talk about is the fear of failure. Like most fears, fear of failure roots in pride. We want to look good, we want to feel good, we want to be our best, and we want to know the future. We feel like if we're not in control, a lot of times we don't want to do it. And fear of failure is one of those things that causes us to not try or not put the intentional effort to add energy into our days, from the simplest thing to the most extravagant thing, because we're afraid that we may not find the success we want. You know that I believe that every moment is opportunity to love and be loved, and that no moment is minuscule. Every moment is a moment and opportunity to learn. And so if you're afraid to fail, if you're afraid that you won't reach your intended end goal, and thus you don't try, or thus you don't put in your optimum energy into something, that's really selling yourself and those around you short. Think about somebody like Michael Jordan. You know I grew up in the Chicagoland area, so I have to use Michael Jordan. If he went up for a 3-point shot and missed, one of his few misses, and Scottie Pippen or Steve Kerr came up and got the rebound and did a layup or a dunk, would that be a failure? Of course not. It's not a failure because the goal is to excel the team, right? To grow and to win. And so him not making that shot is not a failure, because now it was someone else's opportunity to come in and shine. And a lot of times in life, we might apply for that job or pursue that relationship or, you know, attempt to lose weight that 15th time, and it may not succeed in the way we want, not realizing that someone else was coming to catch that layup, and maybe they've been praying for that job, or maybe that spouse was not a good match for you, and it was a better match for them. It's about the team. We're all on a global team to make the world better, right? So it's just important to realize that just because your goal doesn't get reached the way you thought it would, doesn't mean it's a failure. It means that when the time comes, Christ will come up with that alley-oop, okay? Won't do it. He will come through with the alley-oop and succeed, okay? It doesn't mean that you fail. There's no failing in Christ. There's no failing in God. It's only learning, living and learning. So fear number 2 is the fear of man. This one is a doozy. It's like a big old fat man sitting on your neck. The fear of man. A few weeks back, I posted on Instagram that your fear of looking stupid or looking dumb is wasting time. We don't have time for that. We don't have time to sit around wondering, what will my neighbor think? What will my family think if I do this? If it is something that God has put in your heart, it's not against His word or not against His will, do it. Do it, because at the end of the day, if you try and don't get your result, it doesn't mean you didn't learn something. And if that person is watching you, how about they watch you go for something, even something as small? Sometimes you may live in a small town and you're like, if I got one more child, everyone's going to think that what are they doing in their house, that they got 6 kids. Who cares? You be fruitful and multiply, okay? Better you than me. There are a lot of things that we wonder what other people would think, and we're so afraid of what other people would think. My family's from Ghana, West Africa, and there's a Dinka symbol called Nyame, and it means fear no man but God. There's so much in life that we fear what other people would think. When it was time for me to start Simply Passionate Life, I was afraid. I was like, what do I have to say? I don't have a PhD. I mean, I have a master's and I went to Howard, but that's not the point. I didn't know what I had to give, and I had to stop myself and say, wait, I'm a child of God. Forget where my master's is from, or forget that I went to the best college in the world, Howard University, stand up. That doesn't matter. I'm a child of God. I was created by the person who created the universe. Like, if he has something for me to do, he's going to do it in me. I don't have to fear what other people are going to think. Listen, I learned how to speak English at 4. I had a lisp so bad I had to go to speech therapy. I had a lazy eye that still does its own thing sometimes, and had to have a patch on my eye and do vision therapy. I'm the least likely person to be sitting in front of you today, but God. Listen, well, our faith will conquer fear. Love conquers fear. What we think about ourselves is so low compared to what God has planned for you and what he has planned for me. So I'm so proud that he decided to use me to reach just one person. You know, because at the end of the day, it's showing his glory. It doesn't have to make me look any better. It's about making him look pretty dope, right? So be intentional. It doesn't have to be a huge goal. You might not start a YouTube channel, but you may have that young lady at work that you've been meaning to talk to and be friends with, but you're worried that she might reject you, or that you may fail, or that people may look at you crazy. Don't worry about that. Do the simplest things. Take advantage of every moment, because you don't know when you're going to not have that moment again. So the last fear that we're going to talk about is another big one, the fear of greatness. A lot of people don't even realize they have the fear of greatness. One of my favorite quotes by Marianne Williamson is that we don't fear that we're inadequate. No, we fear that we're powerful beyond measure. A lot of us don't even realize that the same power that raised Christ, if you're in him, is in you. Like, that's kind of overwhelming. Like, I have that power in me, and I can use that power for God's glory. We don't realize that. We don't think like that. And we think that if I try this, what if I succeed? Oh, snap. Can I handle it? If I get that house, can I handle a mortgage? If I get married and I have these children, will I get a divorce? Or will this not work out? Will I be able to handle it? Oh, if we plant that church, will we be able to handle the parishioners? You can't worry about that. The quick answer is no, you can't handle it. No, you alone cannot handle the greatness, but God can. And if he has something for you to do, do it. Don't be afraid, y'all. Don't let fear capture your heart and capture your hands and lock you tight. Listen, I'm free from fear, and in my first Friday Spotlight with Kitty last week, it just helped me realize, like, whether you're baking cookies for the PTA or you're running a Fortune 500 company, like, you're important. Your goal, your life, your mission is important. Who you are does not change based on what you do. Don't let fear of failure, fear of what people will say, or fear of how great you actually might become stop you. Y'all, there's so much that we have in this life that is untapped. So much potential that dies with people in the grave. Don't let that be us. What are you willing to give to God today? What fear or what goal or what even small element of your life have you been so afraid to conquer? Pray about it, and if it's his will, it will happen. Whatever your fear is, give it to God. List them below. I would love to pray for you guys and see how we can all conquer our fears together. Tag somebody who needs to hear this message that you know has been walking in fear and not faith. And let's help each other. Let's spur one another on to love and good works. Let's continue to live simply and passionately, from the smallest, minuscule moments to the most amazing moments. I love you so, so much. Thank you to the first 200 that have joined us. Let's make it 2,000. Let's make it a mission to show God's love to the world. I love you guys so, so much. See you next week and around the internet.